In this video, we'll get to know how RAYVN looks during events, and go through all the basic key functionalities that are common to absolutely all users of RAYVN. The video will cover log flow, overview of personnel, tasks, and documents. We now see the active log in RAYVN. This is our common digital workspace, and this is what RAYVN looks like during an event. Here, all participants in the log will have access to the same information in real time, so that everyone can contribute to a good shared understanding of the situation. The screen can now be divided into two. On the left side of the screen, we will always find the log feed. On the right side, we have a toolbar with different functionalities, which allows us to keep track and perform various actions. In the top right corner, we find various tools for communication. And in the top left-hand corner, we find the functionalities that help us with work methodology and structure. The RAYVN logo will always take us back to the dashboard. This is mostly relevant if you have several ongoing logs at the same time and need to jump between them. Participants who have now received a notification from RAYVN can register their response through email or SMS. By answering yes or no, the status of each individual user will be displayed in RAYVN. This makes it easy to keep track of personnel, and we can quickly find out if there is a need to notify more people. If the need arises, it's possible to manually change this from RAYVN by adding more teams. A lot of useful information will be collected in the log feed. It consists of contributions from individuals, in addition to information that the system automatically publishes. All log entries are clearly marked with their name, date, and timestamp. To write a new log entry, we mark the field at the top of the screen. Here, we fill in the relevant text. We can also upload files to each individual log entry. We can choose to tag log entries. This can help us categorize the information and make it easier to filter afterwards. RAYVN has two predefined tags, and these are called key event and released information. Key event is reserved for the most important log entries. And if you select this, a push notification is sent to everyone involved. Released information is to keep track of information that has been disclosed. In addition to these, the business itself can choose to define its own tags. These can be created in advance by an administrator, but new ones can also be created continuously. All tags can be searched afterwards. When we write a log entry, we also have the option of doing this on behalf of others. For example, if a dedicated log keeper is responsible for writing in the log, but the information to be entered comes from another person, then this is a good option to ensure good documentation. When we press Create, the log entry is published to the top of the log stream. We can also work with published log entries, and we do this next to the date and timestamp. Each log entry can be shared with others, moved, if for example it was published to the wrong log, hidden, in addition to the fact that we can make changes to the entry itself. If we do this, all history will be saved. The log feed can become long, and there may be a need to track back previously published information. By using the log filter in RAYVN, we can easily filter with tags, teams or users, sender and receiver. And of course, you also have the option to search in free text. The filter applies to the entire log feed. In the section Teams, in the row of tabs on the right, everything that deals with personnel is controlled. Here we can see who is notified, called in, and who has access to the log. We have an overview that shows all the teams involved in the log. We can open these to read out more information. If there's a need to remove someone's access to the log, this can be done by clicking this red button. We can also easily add more people by clicking Add Person, and then we will see a list of all the people that are not already members of this team. We just add them by clicking plus, and then we can select to add a message by writing in this box. We can also choose to invite them without a message. We can also easily remove entire teams if there's a need for it. Then all personnel in those teams will lose access. And vice versa. If it turns out that we need to notify and mobilize additional teams, we can choose Add Teams. We will then be presented with all the teams that are not already active in the log. When new teams are added, a new 4-channel notification will be sent out to the participants. Below the team overview, all participants are listed in the log. This is listed in alphabetical order, regardless of team. This gives a good overview of who has been notified and who has access to the log. We can also see their participation status. Tasks in RAYVN can provide an overview of everything that needs to be done. This section is split into 3 different sections. There's My Tasks, All Other Open Tasks, and Closed Tasks. If we have any predefined tasks based on the template, they will be shown here. We can of course build on this list at any time by easily adding new tasks. We then enter the name of the task and press Enter or Add Task. The tasks can consist of instructions and subtasks, if necessary. We can add instructions on how to conduct these tasks, and we can split the task into multiple substeps or create checklists. They can also be assigned to specific people, and we can also choose to give them a priority. If necessary, we can also set a deadline for when the task should be finished. As soon as we delegate a task to a person, that person will receive a notification telling them that they have now received a new task. As soon as we delegate a task to a person, that person will receive an email notification telling them that they have now received a new task. At the top we see My Tasks, which are tasks assigned to myself. This is the only thing in RAYVN that is individually adapted. So for right now, this task is in my list, but for everyone else, this task will be found in the list of open tasks. Open tasks are all tasks that have not yet been completed. If these tasks have been assigned to others, this will be clearly stated here. Closed tasks is a chronological list of all the tasks that have been marked as completed, regardless of who did them. This makes it easy to find information about what needs to be done and who is responsible for what. This can say a lot about the distribution of responsibilities and workload. To complete a task, we mark it in the checkbox. We can choose to add a comment or documents if it's relevant. If it turns out that a task is not relevant, we can also mark that here as not applicable. All completed tasks will be mentioned in the log feed, with any comments. Files and links, you'll find all relevant files and links. Initially, everything that was predefined is displayed. As the event goes on and new files and links are uploaded in the log feed, these will also be collected here. For each file and link, we can add a note. Tasks, teams, and files and links form the core functionalities of a log in RAYVN. If we want to add more tools to our log feed, we can do so by clicking on this screwdriver and wrench. Here we can adapt this row of tabs if necessary, and we have the option of bringing out more functionalities to the toolbar. Each tool can be added by clicking the switch, and if you make any changes, remember to click Save. Typically for a business, it's the administrators who decide which log tools should be active and which should not. The administrator can define how the default setup should be so that each log starts with the same functionality available.